The 1930s were a time of great uncertainty. The world was still recovering from the devastation of World War I. Millions had died, and economies were in ruins. In many countries, there was political and social unrest. Germany, in particular, felt humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, which had been imposed on them after their defeat in World War I. The treaty blamed Germany for the war and forced them to pay heavy reparations. It also took away some of their territory. In the midst of this turmoil, a new ideology began to emerge: fascism. Fascist leaders promised to restore their countries to greatness. They appealed to people's sense of nationalism and their desire for strong leadership. One of the most powerful fascist leaders was Adolf Hitler, who rose to power in Germany in 1933. Hitler was determined to overturn the Treaty of Versailles and expand Germany's territory. He began to build up the German military in direct violation of the treaty. On September 1st, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. This act of aggression triggered a chain reaction. Great Britain and France, who had pledged to defend Poland's independence, declared war on Germany 2 days later. World War II had begun. Germany's invasion of Poland was swift and brutal. The German army used a new military tactic called blitzkrieg, which involved using tanks and aircraft in a coordinated attack to quickly overwhelm the enemy. Within weeks, Poland had been conquered. The Soviet Union, under the leadership of Joseph Stalin, had signed a non-aggression pact with Germany in August 1939. This pact secretly divided Eastern Europe between the two powers. The Soviets occupied eastern Poland while Germany took their west. After conquering Poland, Germany turned its attention to Western Europe. In the spring of 1940, German forces invaded Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France. The fall of France in June 1940 was a major turning point in the war. Britain now stood alone against Germany. In the summer of 1940, Germany launched a massive air campaign against Britain, known as the Battle of Britain. The German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, bombed British cities and military targets. However, the Royal Air Force, or RAF, fought back bravely, and Britain was able to withstand the German onslaught. The United States, under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, had initially remained neutral in the war. However, the US provided significant aid to Britain. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the US entered the war on the side of the Allies. The Battle of Stalingrad, which began in August 1942, was a major turning point in the war on the Eastern Front. German forces were drawn into a long and costly battle for the city of Stalingrad. The battle raged for months, with heavy casualties on both sides. In February 1943, the German army was finally defeated at Stalingrad. This was a major victory for the Soviet Union and a significant setback for Germany. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces launched a massive invasion of Normandy, France. This operation, known as D-Day, was the largest amphibious assault in history. The D-Day landings were successful, and Allied forces began to liberate France from German occupation. Section 5. The Leaders, Faces of Triumph and Tyranny. World War II saw the rise of some of the most significant figures in history. Their leadership shaped the course of the war and its aftermath. Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, rallied the British people during their darkest hour. His determination and defiance inspired the nation to stand firm against Nazi aggression. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the President of the United States, guided his country from neutrality to become the arsenal of democracy. His leadership proved crucial in forging the Allied alliance that ultimately defeated the Axis powers. Joseph Stalin, the dictator of the Soviet Union, led his country through unimaginable suffering and emerged victorious. However, his brutal regime and ruthless policies left a dark stain on the Allied victory. Adolf Hitler, the dictator of Nazi Germany, personified the evils of fascism. His ideology of hate, his lust for power, and his utter disregard for human life plunged the world into a global conflict. Section 6. Victory and its price. A world transformed. After 6 long years of war, the Allied powers finally achieved victory. Germany surrendered on May 7, 1945, followed by Japan on August 15, 1945, after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The world celebrated the end of the deadliest conflict in human history. However, the cost of victory was immense. Millions lay dead, victims of battle, genocide, and unimaginable cruelty. Entire cities lay in ruins, testaments to the destructive power of modern warfare. Section 7. A new order shaping a post-war world. In the aftermath of World War II, world leaders sought to create a new international order. They aimed to prevent future conflicts and promote cooperation among nations. The United Nations, founded in 1945, emerged as a symbol of hope for a more peaceful world. Its charter outlined principles of international law, human rights, and collective security. The war also reshaped the global balance of power. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as superpowers, leading to a period of geopolitical rivalry known as the Cold War. Section 8. The enduring legacy, World War II's impact. World War II profoundly impacted the course of human history. It led to the decline of European colonialism and the rise of new global superpowers. The war also spurred technological advancements in areas such as aviation, medicine, and nuclear energy. However, it also left behind a legacy of trauma, loss, and the chilling realization of humanity's capacity for destruction. Section 9. Lest we forget, remembering the lessons of war. World War II stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked aggression, intolerance, and the suppression of human rights. It highlights the importance of diplomacy, dialogue, and the peaceful resolution of conflicts. As we remember the sacrifices of those who lived through and fought in that war, we must strive to build a world where such horrors are never repeated. Education, remembrance, and a commitment to peace are essential to ensuring that the lessons of World War II are never forgotten.